means it's time for the repechage. Gavin Day, Tyler Dara here to help guide you through one final day of competition on this season. Tyler, heck of a day.
Oh, here we go with the intro.
And so the sun begins to set on the 2024-2025 ISU Short Track World Tour. 2 of the Crystal Globes have been decided on the men's side and on the team side. One still remains, that being the photo finish to come on the women's Crystal Globe event. That's still to come this afternoon. First, it is repechage time here in Milan. You see the schedule on your screen. Tyler, just another good day yesterday.
Yeah, a great day. This is just wrapping up the World Tour beautifully right now. Just some fantastic racing all the way through the day, even in the relay semifinals to finish it off. We are just on the edge of our seats, so buckle up because there's going to be some great racing again today. As you mentioned, Gavin, the battle for the Crystal Globe is on between Kristen Santos-Grizzle and Corey Stoddard, but you'll have the likes of Xandra Velzebor throwing her hat in the ring in the 500 this weekend. We missed her last week in Tilburg. Of course, we got Choi Min Jong back. She's racing the 1500 meter and the 500 meter today, so she'll be looking to mix things up as well. So there's a lot of action in store for us on the ice.
As we learned over the course of this season, it's not done until it's over. The unexpected can and does happen. The light show is underway. Crowd here in Milan yesterday, it was a pretty good crowd for the medal round World Tour session. And of course, this does not mean the end of the season here in Milan. There is still one more event to come. It is a big one next month in Beijing. Oh yeah, the World Championships.
Well, the World Championships is always the wrap-up of the season. It's the finale, if you will, and of course, the World Champion title on the line for each individual distance and the team events, and those just carry so much weight, especially going into an Olympic year. And the World Championships for a lot of teams are used as a qualifying event for the Olympic team in the following season. They'll typically, to their top skaters, or depending on if they get podium finishes, can pre-qualify them, or a select few, not the entirety of the team, but there's a lot of weight added to that, and especially even for teams like the Italian Gladiators, it can mean so much in terms of funding if you can enter an Olympic year with World Championship hardware around your neck.
We begin with the women's 1500 meter repechage quarterfinals. Pretty much a flip of the script from yesterday. Women's 1500 and 500 and men's 1000. Men's relay. We also chuck in the mixed team relay as well. It is fitting that the World Championships are at the previous Olympic host, and here we are at the next Olympic host. See, 4 heats. 5th one has been canceled. And so with 4 heats, first, second, and third place skaters from each race, and up to 2 fastest 4th place skaters qualify for the repechage semifinals. So good number of skaters going through from these 3 races to come, 4 races to come, pardon me.
Well, as you covered it, Gavin, more than half the skaters in each race have the opportunity to qualify through to the next round. So that's really going to impact the speed of the race from the start. A lot of skaters are going to feel a lot more comfortable knowing that they could be top 3, even just a 4th, or have an advancement. So that impacts the strategy of the skaters that they'll be implementing in these races.
Each time in these races, the strategy can change because the number of skaters on the line is different. The number of people who advance can change.
And then on top of it, the strategy even changes once you get to finals, because there's just a different dynamic. There's no kind of advancement opportunities in finals, so that might change how hard you defend, or if you're going to take a risk on a pass, because there's nothing else to move on to. And if you're to fall in a final, well, you don't get advanced to a position. You're just going to be either taking a disqualification, or if you have an unfortunate fall or get taken out from an incident, well, that drops you down in the rankings and the results as well.
Some of the French family members there in the audience. It has been a very diverse group. Of course, Italy easily accessible from other parts of Europe. I see Norwegian fans, British fans, Dutch, Belgians, Italians, Canadians, Chinese, and on and on and on. It's been a taste of what is to come next year when the world will well and truly descend on the Lombardia region in northern Italy. The next two Winter Olympics are really not that far from each other. There's here next year, and then 2030, that whole kind of southeast France region. You're not terribly far away from each other. And you have seen the start list up. The gate has not opened, and so our skaters are still waiting to get onto the ice.
Well, kind of interesting how the Olympics have been kind of moved around, and then previous we had the two stops in Asia, in Beijing and Guangzhou. Pyeongchang, sorry.
Guangzhou is also in China.
Yeah, that's also China.
I think you're thinking of your last business trip.
That's right. Getting confused. Too many stops around the world.
And here we go. They are out on the ice. Run through all 7 skaters who will take to the line. Kanai Rika, the Japanese Ninjas. Danucha Chataisong of the Thai Elephants. Aurélie Levesque of the French Roosters. Dita Van Oorschot of the Dutch Lions. Petra Vankova of the Czech Ice Spiders. Diana Michalchuk of the Ukrainian Wildcats. And Thea Johansson, the lone entrant from Sweden.
Miranda Slutbeck, the starter for the women's, will be giving us the first gun shot of the day.
Go to the start. Ready.
The first strides always give you an indication of what the strategy might be in this race, and it's well, it's quick-ish, not really. Tough to judge because they haven't completely stood up. They are starting to move. It's not quick anyway.
Well, we know the lap times the women in this field are capable of doing are upwards of high 8-second laps, low 9-second laps. So the 13s are certainly more of a relaxed pace to start. Top-ranked skater in this race, Dita Van Oorschot. Typically, we like to see her in the front. I think, again, because we know those advancements. There's so many skaters going through. She's just staying a little bit more relaxed, sitting all the way back in 7th, where we don't typically see her. I expect to see that a move coming from her in the next few laps here.
The pace is not so that we start to worry about maybe falling out. Of course, there always are incidents that can happen in front of a skater, but she is looking nonplussed at the back, waiting to make a move.
And right now it's kind of a waiting game. Skaters eyeing each other up. Who's going to make the first move? You don't want to make a move too early, but you don't want to be late and the last one to react, and then the pace gets out of hand for you, and then it just becomes increasingly difficult to move up.
And it is Levesque, the first to make the foray forward. And now the tempo starts to gain. And inside 6 to go. And now you start to look back at Van Oorschot. She has a long way to go as Levesque is ramping up the speed. But now comes the Dutch line. Watch that orange get blitz around to the front, or at least attempt to.
Kanai Rika moving out along the outside as well. Oorschot following suit, looking to tuck in here. Will she go into second? Will she make a move to first? She carries it right by.
Move on the inside, gives her the lead. Inside 3 to go.
Still
really
five together.
Skaters. Is Van Oorschot. Kanai Chataisong making the look for third as Levesque tries to hang on. She did a shift to get to the front. Wonder what energy is left. Vankova also making a look. And down goes Chataisong and Vankova. And it's Van Oorschot, Kanai, and Levesque. And so first race of the day, we will get a review of that incident between Petra Vankova, who was making the move or attempting it on Chataisong.
Review replay here. Kanai Rika on the outside. Dita Van Oerschoot following. She followed that up with an inside pass. Here we see Chatai Sung on the outside, going down, making contact with the skate of Vankova, and that also put her down into the mats.
And already the crew in the review room called into action.
So looking for a lane change on Chatai Sung here on the corner, which makes contact with Vankova.
And it would be perhaps unfortunate for Vankova just outside those top 3 qualifying positions. But you look at it, was, for a skater we don't see often like Chatai Sung, potentially that incident aside, she was going toe-to-toe with the skaters in front of her. We know the speed. We have seen her in the 500. Maybe that is more to her liking.
But great to see her out here showing that she's, in the heat of the race and mixing things up. I think just naturally when you're on the outside of the turn, you're trying to kind of shorten that turn radius, sometimes get a little bit tighter on that apex, but you have to watch you're not coming across and making contact with other skaters inside of you as you're attempting that outside pass.
And they're looking at, as Tyler mentioned, a possible lane change outside to in on the corner. And the ruling has been made. We'll go down to the ice for our first announcement of the day.
After review, penalty for number 108 from Thailand.
There you go. It is Chatai Sung who is penalized. Vankova, who was sitting in 4th at the time, unfortunate not to get an advancement there. She was not in those advancement positions. So there's your top 3. Thea Johansson on the bubble, 239.159 with 4 heats, 2 top 4th, potentially moving on. Heat number 2. There's the start list. Zheng Yizhe, Katarina Buric, as we get a look back at the incident, and you just see the lane change.
So you see how wide Chatai Sung is off the blocks, then how much she comes back inward toward the block and making contact with Vankova. And Vankova in 4th, unfortunate, position to be in when you get taken out like that, because you're out of a qualifying position to be advanced.
Rest of the starters. Pair of nomads, Alina Ashgalieva, Olga Tikhanova, Louisiana Stahl, Holly Hoyland, and
Go to the
Betty
start.
Muska.
Ready?
We're up, and this is heat number 2. Very slow, very strategic start.
Okay, my dates were out of date here. It actually is Katarina Buric's birthday today.
Oh, did we celebrate yesterday?
I thought it was yesterday. My computer came up as today's birthdays.
Got to update your time zone.
Apparently. I don't know how it would have come up yesterday, but anyway, the birthday girl, Katarina Buric, turning 28 today in the Croatian checkerboard kit. It is Hoyland on the front for the British Royals, and another one. The lap time's 14 seconds. So not another terribly quick opening.
Well, we see the Nomads positioning themselves near the front here.
A unified push on the outside and the inside, and Buric moves up into 3rd. Watching at the back, Zheng Yizhe, she is ranked 20th in the world in this distance.
Now we see the pace picking up, the skaters getting lower into position. I always like it when skaters take advantage of the slow pace at the beginning of the race to just make their way up towards the lead. Just in terms of energy expenditure and management, it's so much easier to make a pass from the back to the front when the pace is slow.
Tikhanova on the front now as the Nomads swap duties on the front.
And we talked about this yesterday, Gavin, but the Nomad team, just how strong, how great they are together as a unit in the relay. Individually, they're really developing as well. So hopefully they can have some individual success today on top of the relay success that they've been having.
programs starting to put some pieces together.
Zhang Yizhe, watch her on the outside now.
And she goes all the way around. Still some work to do on the outside. And finally makes this one stick. And now she just pulls away a little bit. And after so much time on the front, those tired nomad legs, difficult task to try to chase down Zhang Yizhe, who is in charge of this one as the race really fractures apart. It is Zhang ahead of Tikhonova Ajgalieva. Looking at the 4th place time, that would be Katarina Buric with about a 2:38, and so that would be ahead of the time set by Thea Johansson. Nomad's doing the work early, swapping out duties on the front, and when Zhang, really the patron of this race, decides, okay, it's my time, and makes it look easy.
Well, just a very well executed outside pass by Zhang Yizhe there. You could just see on the corner, she never came across from her lane. She kept it wide. She didn't even put a hand down. She was so comfortable at that pace, kept her feet moving on the corner, no long pivots, and that just helped accelerate her right by the pack.
Next season, we're going to have to get used to a whole bunch of new helmet numbers as they reshuffle the orders.
That's right.
Just as we're getting used to them. Here are the results: 2:38.622. Buric now in pole position in those top 4th place times. Heat number 3 has a pair of Wildcats, a Nomad, a Wolf, an Ibex, a Viking, and a Gladiator. An eclectic mix.
Go to the start. Ready.
And the Gladiator is the 5th ranked skater in the world. Won 2 medals yesterday, including an individual one, Elisa Confortola. I believe she crashed out in the heats. That's why she's here. Yeah.
She did. So Elisa Confortola could have a long day ahead of her. She's certainly a skater capable of making it all the way to the final, as we've seen, and the podium. So see how the racing, the increased amount of races maybe impacts her legs or her energy levels over the course of the day. And of course, this is day 3 of the event, so you already have some fatigue in the legs from the previous 2 days.
But that home crowd, I'm sure, will make the suffering a little bit less. She picked up the bronze medal yesterday after Florence Brunel was penalized in the 1,000 meters. And this one's picking up early, it feels.
Yeah, this pace is much higher. We saw the previous lap was up 10 already.
Watching for Confortola weave her way through the field, the 22-year-old. Big smiles yesterday when her name was announced in the final. She is born in a small town called Sondalo. It's close to the mountains northwest of here in Milan, and she just arms on the back, cool as you like, onto the front.
Still 4 laps to go here. Let's keep an eye on the battle for 3rd. We got Yermak tracking down Selyukova.
And a potential lap of Phoebe Stens to come, as Confortola has just ripped this race apart.
Here's Yermak setting up wide. Gonna carry it on the outside.
In second, it's Lisa Eckstein, but it's Confortola who has to do the extra repechage races today and just decided to just smash this field wide open.
Well, a much quicker time than we've seen in the previous 2 heats.
2:19, the winning time, looking down to 4th at about a 2:21. So yeah, by a few seconds. Ortola not really troubled by the early pace of this one. There's another 50, they have to do one more. Those are the semifinals. Of course, that comes after the men's 1,000-meter repechage quarterfinals. But does the business. We'll see her again shortly. Stein gets up for second, Yermak third. And fourth place, Miroslava Selyakova, 2:21.703. That forces out Thea Johansson's time, and so Buric with a 2:38.622 on the bubble right now. Heat number 4 has Kim Kyo-jin of the Australian Racing Roos, Gabriela Topolska of the Polish Hussars, BB Arts of the Dutch Lions, Hidai Emi of the Ninjas, Maya Somodi of the Falcons, Lam Ching-yan of the Hong Kong Ice Chillins, and the youngster Berenice Combi of the French Roosters. A couple skaters ranked in the 20s, a couple in the 30s, one in the 50s, one in the 60s, and Combi hoping to upset all of them as a newcomer to the World Tour.
Go to the start. Ready.
And if you are Katarina Buric, watching and waiting, judging from the few strides, you say, okay, it's not the quickest of openings. We'll see how they ramp things up here. It's Lamb going to the front.
And no advancements so far, and we take 4, so potentially all 4 fourth-place finishers could go through here.
It is Lamb on the front. Combi, the 18-year-old, is 19 until May, and now BB Arts decides to hit to the front. She's kind of like the Velsma. She has the bigger, thicker neck guard.
Yeah, there's a taller neck guard that some of the skaters can choose to wear, obviously just for added safety precaution. I don't think that's a bad idea at all.
Also, we've seen some kind of shivering skaters trying to keep warm. Might also help keep the neck warm a little bit.
Keep the draft out. But that tall neck guard in combination with that face shield is probably the safest combination of equipment you could wear to protect your neck and your face.
Bit by bit, the tempo picks up. Hidai on the front. And Kim taking a look up the inside on Arts. Kim, who qualified for the World Tour in this distance in Beijing. Of course, after those who qualify out of the repechage semifinals go right into the semifinals this afternoon. Now the tempo really picking up as Hidai on front, and a bevy of skaters trying to get into those top 3 positions. Right now, it is Somodi and Kim, and then a bit of a gap. There is one incident that will be reviewed. Possible lane change by Somodi from inside to out. 2 laps to go. We have a front 3, and Topolska trying to close it. It is Hidai on the front. Somodi in second, and Kim just trying to hang on for third. It looks like she will. Hidai winning it, Somodi second. Kim in third, and Topolska fourth with a 2:31.94. That review has been cleared, and so it looks like that 4th place by Gabriela Topolska is enough to get her into the repechage semifinals, squeezing out the unfortunate Katarina Buric.
Well, strong race from Hidai. She just took the lead and controlled it all the way home. just slowly progressing the lap times. She got to about 9.5s and just was holding it there for the last few laps. That was a pace high enough just to break the field apart.
There you have it. The results have been made official. Hidai Somodi and Kim go through. Topolska does get the little Q next to her name. Miroslava Selyakova, the other skater, to get a qualifier out of 4th place. But Hidai, a very good result, taking control of that one. Hidai, very experienced skater. 27 years old. Miyoshi in Japan. See the qualifiers onto the repechage semifinals. They will be back out after the first ice resurface, if I'm not mistaken. That's the other time it goes. I haven't taken a quick look. I will soon. Men's 1,000 meters repechage quarterfinals coming up. First place skater from each race, and a maximum of 3 fastest skaters qualify for the repechage semifinals. So 1 plus 3, as Tyler liked to say.
And 7 heats.
Tough to get those 3, and then if they're advancements, this one will really, might just be one you go on to win. Of course, the likes of Kim Gun-woo in heat number 1, Felix Pigeon also highly ranked, close to Kim Gun-woo, 14th and 18th respectively. And there's Denik Sepal, Daniel Bergen, and Adam Hill Jr., and it is the British Royal on the front.
So you can't be too confident in time advancements. This really makes it a race for the front here. You've got to win it. So what we see is skaters want to position themselves near the lead as early as possible. The pace just picks up so quickly in the 1,000 meter. Right now we have Adam Hill Jr. leading it out with Kim Gun-woo tucked into 2nd.
I believe Hill Jr., the European swing is his debut World Tour events. And Sepal guns around, following after Kim Gun-woo. Coming up to see 3 to go, and it is Kim in control at the front, and Pigeon gets up into 3rd.
Well, this is a quick pace here. Sub 9 second laps already. There's another 8-9. Kim Gun-woo creating some separation. That's creating opportunity for Felix Pigeon.
And at the bell, it is Kim in front. Pigeon trying to get around the outside. He's not finding an opening on Sepal. Makes the late move now. A little too late to try to chase down Kim, who will take the heat. And you know, I think Sepal takes it for 2nd.
Great job from Sepal. Sepal able to hold off Pigeon on that last corner. Not easy to do as your legs are just burning coming around that last turn.
Kim would have been the favorite coming into this one, and well, he showed why.
Well, a 1:25.3. This is a quick race. So if times, do become the advancement positions, 1:25.8. I think that could hold up. We'll have to see how the other races react, but that was a quick race.
Sepal by 12 thousandths of a second, jumping ahead of Felix Pigeon. We have seen a number of times those first heats, when it comes down to time, holding up in the end. So Sepal, we'll still have to watch and wait to see what happens the rest of the way. There are the results. 125.812. Heat number 2 as Tobias Wolf of Austria, Mercedes Zaksabayev, and Aybek Nassen of the Kazakh Nomads. Lucas Beckenhauser of the Italian Gladiators, Jonas Hammermuller of the German Wolves.
Start. Ready.
Speckenhauser. 24 from Bormio, which is the training base of the Italian side, but it sort of has a revolving door of countries coming through to train with them at various times of the off-season and then during the season. Bormio not far away from here. It is the Nomads on the front, but Wolf, and from Feldbach, originally born there in Austria, up into second place. And already some reshuffling around, as it's Zaksabayev though in front.
Well, Zaksabayev really pushing the pace here as well. Low 9, so this could be a competitive time as well. Speckenhauser looking up the inside.
Not wanting to risk the pace getting too high and preventing moves. Speckenhauser into third. And there was an incident. You see the green dot though, that means it has been cleared.
Speckenhauser was in the 1500-meter A final yesterday, so he's in top form. Wanted to perform for the home crowd as well.
Wolf into third. He's trying to make the move into second. He does. Nicely done from him. Speckenhauser though in front, and Tobias Wolf trying to hang on, and he will do just that for second place. But Speckenhauser takes it. 126.14, a 126.86 approximately for Wolf, so a little bit slower than that first heat.
Well, good effort from Zaksabayev. He was really trying to do everything he could to keep the pace high, maybe trying to hope for, if he didn't get the winning spot, that he may have that second time. But maybe just too much in the lead, couldn't hold that position off.
And it is Speckenhauser looking comfortable in the end. And those results confirmed and finalized. Speckenhauser through Wolf as the faster of the two fastest second place times, so he's on top right now in that mini standings. Heat number 3, Brendan Corey, who finished the 1500 World Tour standings 10th overall. He's here in the 1000. Lou Jean Schwab, Sean McAnuff, Etienne Bastier, Enzo Prost, and Yaroslav Morozov. And since my computer, I'm blaming the computer on this because I don't know how I would have known a day in advance of these two skaters' birthdays. It is also his birthday, so.
Well, 6 skaters on the line changes the dynamic a little bit. You really can't find yourself caught in the back at all.
6 skaters the rest of the way in each heat.
Go to the start. Ready.
McAnuff has his supporters section there. He lives in Hungary, trains with that program. It is Corey on the front, and he is picking things up right away. Bastier is caught behind Lou as Lou makes a move.
Bastier trying to strike now. Corey holding the lead back.
McAnuff was making a move for the lead, and that actually held back Etienne Bastier, and now things are really settling in. Corey emerges from the dust in front.
Well, you see multiple skaters trying to make pushes to the lead. Brendan Corey responding very well, keeping this pace high, low 9s. See Corey drop that arm, accelerating the pace out. Want to control this lead.
And so Prost up into 4th place. Now trying to make the move on Bastier. Not the opening he wanted. Here comes Lou Jean Schwo again. With work to do.
Brendan Corey doing a terrific job here. It's just 9-0 after 9-0 at the front. 9-0 again. So battle for second here. Lou Jean Schwo on the outside.
Bastier just nipped, and Lou Jean Schwo jumps ahead to take second place. Valiant effort by Etienne Bastier and Sean McAnuff, just losing out to Lou in the end. 125.89. And that is, we'll see if Lou's time gets adjusted a little bit, because Zdenek Sapal's at 1:25.81. But that would put it faster than Wolf's, and it's a 1:25.88. And so Zdenek Sapal's time still the one to beat by a few hundredths of a second. But a good win for Brendan Gorey. See like a gold mining patch on Corey as a sponsorship. His parents did develop a gold mine in Australia.
Oh.
I'm wondering if that might be sponsorship related to that. Anyway, heat number 4, Kwang Sung Ming, Furkan Akar, Ward Petre, Ben Jung, Dietrich Veraklis, and Martin Prentel. An eagle, an Anatolian par, an ice bear, a wolf, an ibex, and a Dalmatian. There we go. Bit of a delay there. The whistle will get them to the line. Ben Jung mixing it up in the 500s yesterday.
Go to the start. Ready.
And it is Jung jumping up a few spots off the line, but it is Kwon leading right now. Of course, the car we know is 500-meter speed, and we wait to see if he makes the big shift, but it's Petre at the moment.
Well, the car had a very quick response to that outside pass from Petre. A car really looking like he wants to control from second here.
Move for Veraklis, getting up into 4th.
Here comes a car on the outside.
Now here goes the shift. Petre trying to hold it off. Is there an opening maybe for Jung as well?
Well, the car's really opening the throttle now, dropping this speed down. Still looking very comfortable as he goes 8.8 on this lap time. Ben Jung looking up the inside of Petre.
Makes that one stick. Now it's a tall order, chasing away Furkan Akar, who just keeps getting faster and faster. Petre bites back into 4th. Kwon trying to go around the outside as well, and it does. As Jung just runs out of gas, and Akar now just hanging on with Petre coming. He made it close. 1:27.34 approximately. That would not be one of the faster second place times. So cool with those glasses, just to watch the eyes where he's looking on the ice. He's staying alert, and he hung on in the end. The endurance just held on as Petre closed late.
I always like the tinted lenses, because whenever you get photos of yourself, your eyes are like half open or closed, and you're like, you know what? I don't want to see myself looking like that. Like I'm dying out there on the ice, you know? I'm gonna get those tinted lenses. You can't see how much I'm hurting.
The car is through. The only qualifier, 3 to go in the men's 1,000 meters. number 5, Rainis Berzins. The Latvian Golden Stars, Metehan Atan, Martin Kolenc, Frederick Pedersen, Sean Lachart Taprom, and Matthias Wolfgang of Austria. You'd have to look at Berzins in this one. Not the best of days for him yesterday with a pair of penalties.
Go to the start. Ready?
Berzins does have 3 individual medals on the old World Cup tour, but they were all in the 1500. But you would still have to think him as a candidate for favorite to move through here. On the former ski jumper settling in behind him. 7 laps to go, under 10 seconds the lap time, Star.
Well, this is not a slow race by any means, but it's not as quick as some of the previous ones, so this is really going to be a battle for that first place position. I don't think we're going to see them go in that 125 range.
Kolenc getting up into 3rd. It is still Berzins on the front right now, 31st ranked skater in the world in this distance, but he has a ton right behind him. Kolenc also there, and Frederick Pedersen has not been afraid to try a move.
Watch Atan here, he's building up. Setting out wide, he might cut inside here. He's gonna look, Rainis Berzins has a slip up. That allows Atan to get by on the inside.
And it's Atan at the bell. And is there a last second push from Berzins? He'll reach, but Atan holds him off.
Yeah, kind of holding hands across the line there.
Nice bit of sportsmanship there, preventing perhaps a fall. But Atan, opportunistic, spotted the opening and did not hesitate.
Well, it was just perfectly timed when he was setting it up. At the same time, Rainis Berzins kind of had a bit of a trip up out of the exit, which kind of dumped his speed, made that inside pass. Here's a look at that setup again. Atan building some speed in this corner. He sets it wide. This is the pass here. Berzins doing a good job trying to get back into this race to make a challenge for the finish.
You know, it felt the wobble, and Atan graciously put the hand out to keep him upright. And yeah, you were mentioning it's not one of the faster heats, so 128.034 for Berzins is not enough. Still on the bubble, Lu Zhanshuo and Zdenek Sepal, and you see Atan's the only qualifier there. 2 heats left. Oleg Hande, Gleb Ivchenko, Mohamed Bozdag, Eric Anderson, Peter Murphy, and Mark Chismadia. The next heat. It'll be an interesting battle between Ivchenko and Hande. Hande is a guy who does try to get to the front. Nice repairs on that corner. That's where Berzins stumbled out. Imagine scratched up the ice a little bit.
We were talking about the glasses earlier, Gavin. As much as they are for style, they are for protection. They are a requirement for equipment for the skaters to wear the glasses.
And of course, we now see a few of the skaters adopting the full face shield. Yesterday, we sort of had the visor that took up half the face, so interesting additions as well.
Go to the start. Ready?
Out of the gate, it is Hyundai on the front. He is the top-ranked skater in this field. Oh, he's already second. He's 44th. Glebivchenko behind him, 36th. Two of the skaters do not have a ranking, so for a guy like Eric Anderson, who's not often on World Tour, and Mark Chismadia, maybe not his usual distance, he is a name we do see on the circuit, though, quite often this season. But still at the front, Hyundai. 5 to go now. Repechage closing in bit by bit as four skaters start to separate. And there is one
Anderson
down.
is down in the corner. Watching Ole Hyundai here. He's just slowly progressing the speed, building out in the corners, down to 9-0. Repechage jumping up the inside. Nice move.
Now Hyundai has to see if there's a chance to reply. Waiting if there's a little slip from Repechage or if there's an opportunity. He is maybe sizing something up, but Repechage doing well to block all his avenues right now. Buzdag making
No
a move.
openings.
Going to be one last push from Hyundai, but it is Glebivchenko. Even if it came to a battle of the reaches, he's got the longer legs, the taller frame, and just ahead of Hyundai in a 127 will not be enough for Ole Hyundai. So we would see them again in the Repechage semifinals. And one more heat still to come, and then we shift back to the women's 1500 meter Repechage semifinals. And there will not be an ice resurfacing break. I just confirmed that. So that will come after the women's 1500 meter Repechage semi. That's heat number 6. Heat number 7 has one DNS. That is Ivan Martinic. So there will be 5 skaters on the line in this 1000 meter rep quarterfinal. Lu Shaolin, Robin Bendig, Purapat Changmai, Tariq Omaragic, and Jung-Sun Woo. Could be an interesting battle between Jung-Sun Woo and Lu Shaolin.
Some very big names here with Lu Shaolin and Jang-Sung Woo. Jang-Sung Woo's been having a terrific season. Such a strong 1500 meter skater and can mix it up in the 1000s. So I remember, if I recall correctly, he had an unfortunate slip in the qualifying round, so that's why he finds himself in the Repechage. But it's going to be a heated battle with Lu Shaolin and Jang-Sung Woo. So we'll see how they play this one out.
Go to the start. Ready?
And of course, if you're one of the other skaters in the field, keep it close, because if they go shoulder to shoulder and they lose all their speed or that causes an opening, you're going to want to be there. But it is Lu on the front and just watching the white tiger stalking the 4 skaters in front of him.
Well, Jang-Sung Woo sitting back in 5th, to me that's just a sign of how confident he feels. No panic to get to the front early. Lu Shaolin pushing the pace here. We started right away, 9.4, 9.3, so this will be a quicker time, but you got to maintain that speed and still continue to drop it down. We saw Corey holding 9.0s nearly the entirety of the race.
Bendig just about loses it. Good job from him staying on his feet, but he has Jung watching and waiting, who's already wound his way up to 3rd. And there's an incident at the back. It's Omaragic and Changmai. And while we were watching that, Jung goes up into 2nd behind Lu Shaolin, and now to the front. It will be reviewed. Neither of the skaters were in a position of advancing, but Jung really doesn't even look like he's out of 2nd gear. He has dropped Lu Shaolin, and Jung-Sung Woo will take it quite easily. Let's see Lu's time. It is a 126-ish, and that would not be enough. would needed to get under 125 to get that runner-up spot, but Jung not really troubled there.
Oh, Jung Sung-woo just stayed so relaxed throughout. You could just tell right away he knew that this was his race. He didn't panic at all, just sat back in fifth, stayed relaxed, kind of worked his way just one at a time, picking his way through the field and then striking with that outside pass on Liu Shaolin. Here it is, another look. Just perfectly builds his speed long through the exit. That nice relaxed shoulder position, just so calm. Looking between the legs. Is anyone coming? Is Liu Shaolin still there?
So the 5th ranked skater in the world with a composed performance to move into the repechage semifinals. That's first up when we come out of the ice resurfacing break. That incident is being reviewed. They're looking for a possible failure to give way to Tariq Omeragic.
Here's another look at Omeragic on the corner. Yeah, he was not in the lead of that pass as he entered the turn. His shoulders were not ahead.
Almost got the skate up there on Chiang Mai. It would be inadvertent, of course, as he was falling, but just watch this. We can see it. His right boot came up there.
Yeah.
And here we go.
After review, penalty number 86 from Bosnia-Herzegovina.
There you go, just Jung moving on. Have a look at the incident again. The failure to give way, and Chiang Mai didn't have anywhere to go, and so no advancement, just a penalty. And there is the skaters advancing to the repechage semifinals in the 1,000. Now we're already out for the repechage semis for women. 2 heat, 7 skaters in each heat, 1 skater moving on, and you'd have to think Confortola would be the favorite in this one.
Go to the start. Ready?
Siamo alle semifinali, in realtà decidono già questo il passaggio a quello che sarà l'evento portoghese, passano solamente la prima di ciascuno.
Once again, she was right off the very back in the rep quarterfinal. Here she is sitting in 4th, but since time is not a factor in any way here, this is an order of skaters that will change a lot, could change very quickly.
Just a methodical pace to this start. Well, Lisa Confortola is so strong right now. I think it's just a matter of when does she want to drop the hammer and attack this race. The other skaters have to know that's going to be coming, so they're going to want to position themselves well near the front. Maybe hope that Confortola gets met with some challenges on her way around the outside. I presume that's what she's going to do anyways. I've been proven wrong before.
See how the legs are feeling. It's been a long weekend for her already.
But if I was Confortola, that's what I would do. And by the looks of it, she's thinking to move now, tucking in a second, sneaking by in the inside, holding that second position.
So Modi keeping her at bay for now, but we just watch for Confortola. Eckstein sitting in 3rd right now for the German Wolves.
Oh, here comes Hidai.
Hidai to the front. So we'll see how now she can try to hold things off.
So the big tell to read if skaters setting up for passes is gauging how they offset their tracks from skaters in front of them. If they're just following in behind the same track pattern, don't expect to see a move unless an opportunity opens and they strike. But if they're really looking to set it up, watch to see them adjusting their track pattern, be it inside or outside, to make a move.
Confortola briefly into second, but quick strides to get there, but now somebody battles back, and Confortola, this might be the shift to get all the way to the front on the outside, and there she is.
It's just a matter of saying, you know what, that's enough. I got to get out of this spot right now. There's too many moves being made around me. I don't want to get caught up in any trouble. Time to go.
And maybe a bit of a wobble there on the corner. Hidai closing it up a little bit, but another composed victory for Elisa Confortola, and she'll be right back into the World Tour. So just another patient race from her. Now, how much energy did she burn in these two quick races? Recovery will be paramount, but there's that smile we saw yesterday. I don't think it's left her face since, yes, she won a medal, but even when she was introduced in that A final, hard to keep the grin back.
Well, fortunately, there's a healthy lunch break to give the skaters some rest that did skate in the morning, but I imagine we'll probably see her in the mixed relays, right, when we come back from lunch, too.
She's certainly one of the choices. I mean, the Italians do have some options.
They have options for sure.
We have seen Siegel used, Betty as their other good sprinter as well.
Fontana, of course, Iriati, Siegel.
they might just balance it out, because since it is a sprint relay of sorts. And so heat number 2 has Miroslava Selyakova, Kim Hyo-jin, Dita Van Oorschot, Kanai Rika, Aurélie Levesque, Zhang Yizhe, and Olga Tikhonova. So several skaters who could vie for that spot, and that might open the door for other skaters. And we'll see if Selyakova goes on an attack, something we've seen her unafraid to try, or pick up the speed anyway, pick up the tempo.
Ready?
We're on. This is second. Semifinal gold 1500 meter repechage. Again, white soles strategic start. Keep some energy for
Kanai
later laps.
almost looking more behind her than in front of her.
Well, this might be the slowest lap of the weekend we've seen so far.
Tune in tomorrow as we
17-7.
You know, I'm pretty confident that I might be able to get that one. I'll take it as the one time that might work, but we just know this just winds it up, and the moment will come where the firecracker will be lit and these skaters will be off.
Just takes a moment. And we have Selyakova now going to the front.
The 1500s that a few times she really pushed the tempo, but those were races where she could have gotten a time, and that paid off for her.
Yeah.
Here, there is no time advancement. Levesque and Kim squeezed a little bit there. Here comes Van Oorschot out the outside. The Dutch Lion on the front.
Zhang Yizhe on the outside now.
Now they're off.
Levesque responding, jumping into the front.
Zhang to the front. Tikhonova, Levesque two abreast, battling for second. Van Oorschot making a move on the inside. It gets in there.
Well, Tikhonova just kind of got trapped on the outside. She just really needed to commit a little bit more to get to the lead. Didn't quite have it.
Van Oorschot looking again on the outside.
But Zhang Yizhe is picking up the pace, so it's making those outside passes increasingly more challenging.
Bunched up 5, Kim trying to make it 6. They are running out of time to catch Zhang Yizhe, 2 to go.
Levesque holding strong, looking for an inside move.
And this would be a bit of a shock.
Well executed inside pass from Levesque. Can she hold it through to the finish?
This could be a breakthrough race for Aurélie Levesque, the French rooster. Nicely done from her.
Great race.
You see the instant reaction, you know, she loves it. Pretty experienced field around her, but a great race for the woman, the 23-year-old from Grenoble.
Grenoble, home of the 1968 Olympics.
Itself not too far away from here.
If you didn't know, Gavin, actually my dad competed in those Olympics in 1968.
Did he?
He did, in long track speed skating.
How'd he do?
No, not too bad. He was in the 1500. I think it was around 13th. Yeah.
It's a lovely city. I've been there once. You get to, there's sort of a fortress in the city. You take a gondola up there and you get great views of the area. Yeah, it's about, you know, it's about a couple hours if you're taking the car, a couple hours more if you're taking the train, but we did see some supporters there from the French, but a good race from Aurélie Levesque. A good jump forward for her. So Levesque is the one qualifying out of heat number 2. And so now we get to glide on into our first ice resurfacing break of the day. We will be back in, let's say, 16, 15 plus minutes time. You'll have the graphic showing the 2 qualifiers. And the ice resurfacing machines are on the way. And so that ends the first block of races from here on Repechage Sunday in Milan. Back both the men's 1,000-meter repechage semis and the women's 500-meter repechage quarters. Back soon. The time to get back to work lights are on. I think they're actually called the racing lights, but you know. Anyway, men's 1,000-meter repechage semifinals. They had the gate open and then they just closed it. I'm assuming just to add to the drama, 2 heats. It really is no margin for error. The winner of each heat qualifies for the quarterfinals. 5 skaters per heat. That's some very good skaters who will be left out. Heat number 1 starts with Kim Gun-woo, Zdenek Sepal, Tobias Wolf, Furkan Akar, and Metehan Atan. So, 2 Anatolian pars, an Austrian, an Ice Spider, and a White Tiger. One of the top White Tigers, 4th in the overall World Cup standings last year, picked up some victories. And we've talked about it a lot, but just a testament to that depth in the Chinese program where he's one of the top skaters last year. And this year he hasn't been at every World Tour event.
Sorry, there, mic's off. We're talking about Kim Gun-woo there?
Who?
What did you say?
Yes, we were.
Yeah, well, yeah, his absence was missed for a few World Tour stops, but great to see him here. I suspect a similar approach to this race as we saw from him in the previous round of the 1,000-meter repechage event, where he just goes to the lead, controls the pace, and defends from the front. But he will be put to the test.
Of course, out of position 1, the Korean White Tiger, Kim Gun-woo, the one to watch.
Go to the start. Ready?
And of course, no time constraints here, so it's just a race for the glory. And it is a car on the front.
Kim Gun-woo immediately reacting to get control of this lead again. Had a feeling this might be his play, but he's going to be put to the test from the likes of Akar and Atan, who have that speed.
I just noticed he takes those quick few strides.
Just explosive power that he has.
The story was with him. He was gifted a pair of skates when a coach noticed he really wanted to try it. Well, that's paid off.
Kim Gun-woo accelerating into that gap.
But the quick response from Akar.
Akar really pushing him out wide.
That opened the door for his teammate to get up into second, and now Kim has been shuffled near the back. This is some real trouble now with 2 to go. Kim, it's now Wolf, though, launching the foray forward. And at the bell, Kim Gun-woo, a long way to go. Furkan Akar, that speed is tough to beat, and he will take it, or will he? Wolf will make it close. A good skate by Tobias Wolf to time that to get ahead of Atan, just short of Akar, though. And a couple hundredths of a second the difference, but Tobias Wolf in pretty quick company there, certainly.
I'd like to
the small victories from each race, and he'll take it from there, I assume.
watch for this replay here of Kim Gun-woo going on the outside. Akar just pushing him out towards the boards there. Really defensive track pattern. That fends off Kim Gun-woo, who sends him to the back.
And when that happens and you're forced into the repechage, there is always the possibility for that. It is being reviewed, though. Let me just see. There is that one incident being reviewed. That came up late. We did not see that during the race. And so there are times, most times the official on the ice relays to the review room, review that. But then there are times, of course, the review room can say, I want to review something there.
They can flag incidents as well. They might be looking at the finish by the, from what we're seeing here.
Yeah, we can see what they're looking at. Looks like arm blocks. I don't think that was there.
Assistance. Potential
Interesting.
push of your teammate from behind. So that's not a common call that we see, but that is what they were reviewing. Possible assistance, which be the one Anatolian par perhaps transferring speed to the other, but it just looked more like he was running up. Yeah.
I mean, it looked, you can say it's a tap. I'm not sure if there's much of a pushing motion. A car had it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not something you see. Anytime you put the hand up, though, there runs the risk. That would seem to benefit Tobias Wolff in the end, but they're still looking at that, so that's going to be another minute.
Change the rate.
But yeah, our car was already in front, so
Here's the coach of the Anatolian Pars just sitting there waiting anxiously for the decision.
well, we all are now. I mean, anytime you see that hand out there, you know, it runs that risk, but I mean, not sure if he was already in front and running that one. A car was in front. And we will throw it down to the ice.
After review, we got a yellow card behavior for number 95 from Turkey. And we got a penalty for number 49, also from Turkey.
So the ruling was that could have changed the outcome of the race, I guess, with Atan putting his hand on a car's back, and well, they don't agree with it. And that benefits Tobias Wolff.
Well, frustration and disappointment from the Anatolian Par team here. The officials have seen this as, you know, potential team skating incident where one teammate pushed their other teammate or transferred speed to them at the finish line to help secure the win of the race. A difficult call to make from the officials. It's never easy, but that's what they saw at the line. You can see the hand coming up of the Anatolian Par skater, potentially transferring some speed to his teammate here to help assist him get ahead across the finish line ahead of Tobias Wolff. So
call it for dangerous behavior, the official ruling on the ice there on the graphic, but yeah, just that hand up, it was the ruling that it could have changed the race, and so Tobias Wolff will come out of that one. And heat number 2, back into it. Brendan Corey, Lujan Schwo, Lukas Speckenhauser, Jung Sud-woo, and Gleb Ivchenko.
Line 3. Go to the start. Ready?
So we saw earlier Corey taking it out quickly. There are some very strong skaters behind him in this one. So he's doing that again, coming out in first, and he will be under threat, I would imagine, until the very end.
Well, in the previous round, we saw Corey pushing the pace. Of course, there was consideration for the time position as well, but as they're going faster, it becomes increasingly difficult for skaters to pass following, and that can create some chaos behind you. And if you're the lead skater, that can help you create some separation from the field if you're forcing to battle it out for position as Lucas Speckenhauser moves into second behind Brendan Corey.
Corey, of course, has that endurance with his abilities in the 1500 meters, so pushing the tempo a little bit to have the other guys battle it out behind him. Lou takes a look around second, and you know, every time there's a battle behind him, I'm sure it's a benefit to Corey.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just skaters exhausting energy. It takes a lot of effort to make those pass attempts, but Jang Sung Woo in fourth is just looking so relaxed. He's going to be looking to pounce at any moment now.
Keeping the powder dry, but Speckenhauser again for the lead. Corey, holding up. That opens the door for Jang.
Jang Sung Woo, what a beautiful maneuver there. Outside, inside, Lucas Speckenhauser gets his way into second. Lu Jianshuo down the turn.
Lou goes down. Corey was forced out wide, but it is Jang Sung Woo taking that one. He was just watching as Lou and Speckenhauser battled it out for second. Jang was just waiting for his moment, and he saw it, and he took it.
That was just a beautiful pass. That's those are the passes I love to see being made. Just three skaters within half a lap. See if we get another look at the pass attempt. Will be coming up momentarily after this. But Jang Sung Woo just accelerating his speed on the outside, carrying so much to go by, outside, inside.
That's the aftermath of Corey being forced out wide, and it is actually Speckenhauser being looked at for his move into second. But again, that would not be in an advancement position, I believe. I mean, they were masked up there at the moment, but I think the Lu Jianshuo incident was self-inflicted. And that is what is being looked at there. Possible late pass, and they are looking at potentially advancing Brendan Corey. As they were all, it was sort of mid-battle for the lead, and Lou going down, I think, on his own there. And so also the look is Ivchenko, I believe, as well.
Yeah, so they're looking at a late entry pass by Ivchenko on the inside as Speckenhauser was going around the outside of Corey. Brendan Corey was sitting in second position at the moment, that pass.
After review, penalty for number 80 from Kazakhstan and an advancement for number 36 from Australia.
Well, there you go. The penalty to Ivchenko, and Corey is advanced in this one. So two coming out of that race. We'll get another look at it. So here is the look. There's the move by Jang Sung Woo just after he had taken the lead. And then Ivchenko with the late pass there, squeezed out Corey. Oh, there you go. Three coming out of those repechage semifinals now into the quarterfinals for the men's 1,000 meters this afternoon. And we jump right along into the women's 1,000 meters, or sorry, pardon me, 500 meters repechage quarterfinal.
Go to the start. Ready?
7 heats, just the race winner, and 3 possibly fast second place skaters moving on, and it's Zheng Chutong out in front. We always know how important position 1 is.
Khan with a tight inside pass there on Kanai.
Gets up into second. Is Yana Khan with a lot of work to do behind Zhang with 2 to go as they battle it out for second, then allow Zhang to scoot off into the distance.
See if Moss can try to set something up as Kanai gets her way back into the race.
But it is Zhang going wire to wire, taking heat number 1, and I think Khan just hung on for second with a 44.76. Betty Miska had it close. That was the move for second. Khan getting out in front, but squeezed out Kanai Rika. And those results are confirmed. Zhang wins. Khan with a 44.755. Heat number 2. Ariana Seagull, Yelizaveta Sidorko, Julie Latai, Hyojin Kim back out, and Zeynep Kumar Khan. Seagull, when we were talking about potential mixed relay options, she's one who's deployed in both of them.
And again, when you have multiple skaters on your team, or you have more than 4 skaters, well, the mixed relay, you only need 2 of each gender there. So you have some options. You're going to look at the workload of the skaters from that day already, where some skaters racing through the repechage and might be fatigued, or how quickly after that mixed relay do they have another race, right? So they have to balance that workload for the skaters, and it's just absolutely works to the benefit of teams that have more depth, because they can kind of pick and choose who they want to race depending on the schedule or the lineup, versus some smaller teams just, they only have 2 skaters. Those are the only 2 going in.
Seagull, a silver medal at the European Championships in this distance last month in Dresden, Germany, beating teammate Chiara Betty, who picked up bronze. There is Latai, the Massachusetts native, back from an injury, getting those racing legs back in. Yelizaveta Sidorko, always easily spotted. We always mention it. It makes it easy to spot the one skater with the large bow in her hair. The Ukrainian Wildcat.
Go to the start.
20 years old, out of Sumy in Ukraine.
Ready.
Tight race to get that first corner, and it's Seagull coming out, and Latai dashing into second place to try to get up behind the leader in the blue Azuri kit.
Well, watching Julie Latai see if she can set anything up on Seagull. Seagull's doing a good job carrying her speed wide. Julie Latai's a little bit tighter on the exit. I'd like to try to see her shift her track pattern a bit to build some more speed.
At the bell, still Seagull in front. Latai not finding the opening, getting right up behind. That caused her to dump a little bit of speed, and Seagull will carry it over the line. Latai up to second with a 44.45.
Well, I'm not sure if we'll get a replay of that second last turn, but Ariana Seagull just kind of shifted to a little bit of a deep track pattern, forcing Julie Latai to kind of run up into her and lose some speed on the exit, and that makes it so difficult then to re-accelerate and try to make a pass on the last corner. So very smart move from Ariana Seagull there. But you can see how wide Seagull was building her speed on these turns.
And the results are final. It's a 44.438 for Latai now. That is a little bit faster than the first heat. But Seagull victorious here into the repechage semifinals. There you go, heat number 3. Aurélie Levesque, Malika Yermek, Lisa Eckstein, Danuccia Chataison, and then Hedvig Hilda. And Levesque already a good result today, getting through in the 1500 meters into the semifinals.
Well, when you have a performance like that in one event, you really carry that confidence with you, riding that high, if you will, and just, you know, feeling sure of yourself and what you're capable of doing. So see if she can kind of carry that through into this 500 meter.
And she does get that all-important position 1. Here's Sean McAnuff. Out to thank his supporters who made the trip in.
Go to the start. Ready?
And it is Levesque with the blistering start into the corner. Interesting to see how Chataisong does. One of those skaters we don't see often, and she looked decent enough in the qualifying rounds, but Levesque is just flying away.
Well, just a blistering start for Levesque, creating some great separation, but Yermak's tracking her down now. Nice two-corner crossovers into the corner to build some speed up.
Levesque, 2 to go, but here comes Malika Yermak. You wonder what's still in the legs of Aurélie Levesque. She's already got 1,500 meters behind her. She is holding off Yermak for now. Eckstein did jump into third, but it is Aurélie Levesque who will just hang on and take it. And a 44.36 for Malika Yermak unofficially. That would be perhaps a tiny bit quicker than the last heat, but another good result for Levesque, who, well, she's logging the races in now this morning. And those results are official, with Levesque taking it. Yermak's official time, a 44.344. That is the new one to beat. Heat number 4 as a ninja, another rooster, a lion, a wildcat, and an ibex. Kurokawa Ki, Chloe Olivier, BB Arts, Juliana Dubrova, and Phoebe Stenz. Arts getting some action in the individual distances this weekend. Picked up a medal in the women's relay yesterday as the skater who did the earlier rounds.
Go to the start. Ready?
And it is going to be brought back as Dubrova, flash of skates, takes her down, grab the elbow, she's okay.
Yeah, no padding on the elbows. Always hurts when you go down on that. See if she's going to get her blades looked at quick or adjusted. Heading over to the mats to see her coach.
Running into stems, they bring those back when the skaters can't get through the corner.
And when you're starting, you're really trying to lean forward, get your weight ahead of yourself. You don't want to have your weight back on your heels. So if you do have a click of the blades, it just sends your foot out, and you're lean forward, you just drop so quickly when that foot's not there to catch you.
So it's the potential to hit the funny bone when you land on the elbow like that. Swiss Ibex coach Jeff Katura taking a look at Phoebe Stenz's blade. She was also caught up in that incident.
What a vest.
That is certainly very flashy. All right, we are good to go. We'll see if second time is the charm. Kurokawa out of position 1, the 24-year-old.
Go to the start. Ready?
And this time it is Chloé Olivier, the French rooster, off to the lead at the University Games. So she's already raced internationally in Italy this year. The University Games were in Turin not too long ago. And now Kurokawa, her best senior result in the 500 meters is a 21st at a World Cup last season. But Olivier hanging on.
Well, Kurokawa is just looking for some opportunities. She tried an early attempt, lost some speed. This is going to be a setup for the finish. BB Arts also looking to try to make something happen here on the last turn.
Olivier manages to hang on. Kurokawa just runs out of space. And approximately a 44.96 is her time, but it's a good win for Chloé Olivier. Back-to-back French Roosters taking their repechage quarterfinal races. Different color boots I notice on Kurokawa, one of the skaters that does that. I think they're the same brand though.
They are.
I think it was Steven Dubois with two completely different brands of skates.
Trying to make the decision for what color you want, you can't decide. You know, I'll go one green, one pink.
I respect that. I do like the flashiness. And those two, sort of the lavender and the teal, I think that complements each other nicely. Not that that affected Kurokawa's race. I'm sure she would have preferred to win. 44.95 will not be enough to move her on to the repechage semifinals. Olivier picking up the win. 3 more heats to go. 4 skaters, just like the good old days. 4 skaters on the line. I'm trying to remember, when did they start to add the 5th skater in the 500? Because I do, you know, you watch in the 90s and it's always 4 skaters on the line.
Yeah, no, and it was after 2010. It was probably, I want to say maybe 5 years ago. I just lose track of time now.
We are dating ourselves,
yeah.
Sir. We can refer to this as the good old days. Although maybe not even the good old days. It's the old days. 5 skaters on the ice as that zazz. Not that I'm saying you should keep piling in. Obviously, there's the safety concern with too many skaters on the ice, but
well, more skaters creates more action, more passing, which is fantastic. It also helps races go by quicker. You have fewer rounds, so you get more skaters into the competition.
No Dohi, Takahashi Hana, Tineke Dendulk, and Zofia Konya.
Ready.
I guess the loser out of that one, Takahashi Hana, out of position 2, dropping all the way to 4th, but she quickly recovers to get to 3rd.
Well, Konya had a good start, but got trapped on the outside, had nowhere to go, so she had to fall back into 4th. But now she's up the inside. Dendulk is down with no Dohi.
Lost her balance attempting to make the pass, and Dohi was caught up in that. That will be reviewed. But Zofia Konya in front now with Takahashi Hana right behind her. And 1 more to go.
Still need to win this race. 2nd may not be enough.
And it will be Konya holding off. She actually celebrated her 30th birthday about 10 days ago, the woman from Budapest. She takes the heat. The incident will be reviewed. I think Dendulk just stumbled going into the corner and it took out No with her.
Yeah, catching the toe there.
Dendulk a week ago made a move in a race, had taken the lead and stumbled out. And so just a matter of putting those last pieces together for Tineke Dendulk. Unfortunate for her.
No Dohi was leading that race though, so possible advancement position for her.
And the review is still underway. Talking to the room, and
so that fall kind of resulted in a contact from behind. All right.
She almost, can look at a possible lane change as well. I think she drifted over. Watch this move right here, right there. They hit blades. The skates came together, and that's when the toe dug in on Dendulk. Looked like she did a fairly decent move.
They're quite even there at that moment.
Yeah. This is not our job to dissect in.
Yeah,
so
no, well,
we're just theorizing at this point.
lots to look at. No Dohi was defending her position hard. Left arm getting out a little bit, so
We'll just
take
drop,
your pick.
We'll just drop this one in maybe as well. Shared responsibility,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Kind of coming together there.
Yeah, one going one way. The right skate of Dendelt did hit the left of No right there.
Yeah.
And it might be one of those times where one's going one way, one's going the other, and you never know, shared responsibility, but we shall see. Down to the ice.
After review, penalty number 92 from Republic of Korea. And we got an advancement for number 60 from Belgium.
Well, there you go. The penalty is on No Dohi, and Tineke Dendalk gets advanced.
Well, we'll see in the replay here. They'll should identify what the infraction was.
And so Dendalk will get the advancement. That removes one of those runner-up times. And so here's the look at it again. It is the lane change outside to in. Leaning over there.
You can just see across the straightaway, No Dohi just shifting her track tighter and tighter as she saw Tineke Dendalk coming up the inside.
And she had her legs quite out wide too. Heat number 6. Berenice Combi, Annabelle Green, Lam Ching-yen, and Petra Vankova.
Go to the start. Ready?
And Combi has showed some speed, but we know Annabelle Green loves those starts.
And again, Annabelle Green putting that start to great use here, creating some separation. This race is really spreading out here. Combi's got some work to do to close this gap, but she's making it happen. Can she carry that speed into a pass here?
Green now under pressure. Here comes Combi up the inside. Combi can't hang on, and Green still in the lead, but a lot of her speed is now gone, and here comes Lam Ching-yen. That incident will be reviewed, and Green just trying to keep what speed she has, and she will cross the line first. And Lam in second, and that move by Combi, they went shoulder to shoulder. She initially held on, but then just lost it coming out of the corner. So there's the bump. Combi just on one skate, can't keep it up.
Hopefully we get a replay of them coming down the straight together.
Annabelle Green, 22 years of age, originally out of Mission, British Columbia in Canada. Mother skated for Canada at the Calgary Olympics, silver and bronze in speed skating. Her father also skated for Great Britain. So here's the incident. And I don't know if Combi had gotten in front or level. It's tough from that angle.
Well, Annabelle Green has a little bit of movement right to left. That's also just a natural skating pathway as you go down the straight, pushing off the right. So is there a potential arm block or lane change outside to in to block Combi? But was Combi ahead of her at that time? Can't tell from that angle there.
They have all those angles at their disposal, and so we'll let them go to work. Looks like the decision is made. They will punch in the results. And here we go. Down to the ice for the ruling.
After review, we give a shared responsibility between number 59 from Great Britain and 114 from France.
So shared responsibility, the call. That means green will move into the repechage semifinals. And so both of them, one going in, one going out, coming shoulder to shoulder, both of them involved in that.
Well summarized.
I think I'm about done here. We'll get another look at it though, of course. So Combi tried the move, but yeah, you mentioned the natural progression. And green goes out wide and then she drifts back in to take the corner.
But I think green was still in the lead of that race at that time.
We'll see her again. So this is the last one. This is the interesting quirk of day 2 repechage day. We do this, we flood, and then it's 2 quick repechage semifinals, or a few quick repechage semifinals, and then we're done for the day, or for the morning. Lee, Somogi, Adamenko, and Hoyland. So after this, as I mentioned, we will flood, we take a quick break, we come back for the quick repechage semifinals, and that wraps up Repechage Sunday. It's Lee So-yun off and away, but Barbara Somogi right behind her.
Well, Somogi was looking there, but she did not have a great setup. A little bit off balance, couldn't get any speed built up. Adamenko tracking her down in third.
And see if there's another opening for Somogi. She tries to go wide. Is she lining something up? The opening is not there. Lee going to take this one to the line.
So we had one advancement, so that'll only leave 2 skaters qualifying through on time.
So at the moment, it's Malika Yermak and Julie Latai. Latai with the time on the bubble. A 44.388, and I think that will be enough. But Lee does well. She was under a lot of pressure there. Fans? And those results have been made final. Lee will be taking a quick break, very quick break. They'll quickly flood the racing track, get it as fresh as can be, and we are back for the repechage semifinals in, well, it's not that long at all, is it? It's inside 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's scheduled for 12:27, but I think they're going to need a little more time for the ice to flood and freeze. So
I imagine so. I think I hear them announcing, we're kind of earmuffed here, but they're announcing that it might be a little bit
12:34 just popped up on the board there.
There we go, and so that's 15 minutes from now. 2 heats, and then that will wrap up the morning's action here in Milan. So one final break, then the final 2 races on repechage Sunday morning. Back with you shortly.
La kermesse finale di questo Misu Short Track World Tour che conclude la stagione di pattinaggio di velocità su ghiaccio in pista corta. 2 le batterie, 10 atleti presenti nella seconda batteria. La nostra Arianna Siegel con il numero 25 si qualificano per quasi finale di questo pomeriggio dei 500 metri, 4 giri e 20, solamente le prime 2 di ciascuna batteria o eventuali avanzate.
Up next we'll have the first of 2 semifinals in the women's 5.
Final 2 races from the morning session. Women's repechage semifinals in the 500 meters. And so 2 heats, 5 skaters per heat. Just the heat winners moving on, of course, barring any advancements. So we shall see. Heat number 1, Zheng Chutong, Malika Yermek, Julie Latai, Annabelle Green, Lee So-yun. And so it'll be interesting to see Green, who is a very quick starter coming out of position 4.
Go to the start. Ready.
And Green does, in fact, jump from 4th into 2nd. Zheng to the lead, and Latai sitting in 3rd, and there's already a gap between the front 3 and the back 2. I tried to look up the inside. Almost looked like she fell forward. That might have cost her a bit of speed there.
And you got to be first here, so let's see if Annabelle Green can set anything up on Zhang.
There's 1 lap to try it.
There was a look. That's going to cost her some speed. She's going to have to try to set up again.
And here she comes, Zhang, to try to hold it off. She takes the inside lane, and Zhang takes the win. And I don't think anything getting reviewed there.
Nice clean race. Well skated by Zhang. First race under 43 seconds today.
And it will be Zheng Chutong, I believe, going on. And indeed, those results are official, with Zhang getting the 1 spot into the quarterfinals this afternoon. And heat number 2 already out on the ice. There will be an intra-team battle. 2 French roosters, Aurélie Levesque, Chloé Olivier, Ariana Siegel of the Gladiators, Zofia Konya of the Hungarian Falcons, and Tineke Denulk of the Belgian Ice Bears. And so pretty impressive skate from the last round. Very even race, a lot of closely ranked skaters.
Ricordiamo silenzio dal fischio allo sparo. Grazie.
Go to the start. Ready.
How important is the dash to the first corner? It is Levesque well out in front. Siegel went into Chloé Olivier. Yeah, and so they did not get through the corner. And so they will bring that back for a second attempt. It usually comes with repairs as well to the ice surface. So here's the start. A good start for Levesque. And shoulder to shoulder go Olivier and Siegel, and they both spill. Nobody gets penalized, but they do bring them back for another attempt.
Well, if you're positioned 4th and 5th on the line there and you can't find a way to get around, your best option is stay a little bit wider on the turn, really try to accelerate some speed out of that corner, hope for some contact from the skaters ahead of you, and try to capitalize on that to improve your position within the race.
And so, of course, they get their blades looked at. I don't think anybody needed any major repairs. They're all out back on the ice. It looks like the ice fix is complete.
Go to the start. Ready.
And it is a great start this time for Zofia Konya. Briefly looking like she could have got into second, up into position at number 3 though, but it is Levesque again off the front. Seagal now chasing.
All tight together here. Let's keep an eye on Konya and Seagal. Levesque doing a good job maintaining her speed right now.
Levesque.
You often get one really good opportunity to try to set something up. Seagal trying to do that right now. 2 crossovers in.
And she makes the move on the inside and gets to stick it. Lovely move. Ariana Seagal. Konya tries to go for second. And making the most of that one chance, as Tyler mentioned, a great move by Ariana Seagal.
Very well executed. Ariana Seagal just stayed patient. She didn't try to make any moves too quickly. She was being patient, waiting for the right moment to strike. Typically that pace slows down towards the end. You can see that entry she set up wider, got those 2 crossovers in to accelerate her speed to make that pass on Levesque.
Levesque still has a good smile on her face. She'll be in the World Tour session for the 1500 meters. And
it's so important going through to that main event because that's where you collect the points.
And another race against, you know, the top skaters in the world, against to test yourself, and that's when the unpredictable happens, and you never know when you get to move on. But Seagal happily onto the session this afternoon, where the house will be a little bit fuller. There'll be plenty of Italian supporters in the audience. Not sure who that is, but he's happy to see him. Nice little surprise there, and that wraps up the morning session. Ariane Seagal, we'll see you in the quarterfinals this afternoon. We get to take a break now. All going to plan. It's an hour and 22 minutes away from the final session on the World Tour season, the inaugural ISU Short Track World Tour. That was our last morning repechage day of the season on World Tour, Tyler.
That was a little bit sad, you know, but
hopefully we do get the World Championships next month, but you know, it's the World Tour. It's we've had a nice little run here.
All great things must come to an end.
Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Well, you see the local time coming up. That's about an hour and 20 minutes from now. We're going to go grab some lunch. Back for the exciting conclusion of the ISU Short Track World Tour on behalf of Tyler Dara and everybody here. My name is Gavin Day. Talk to you shortly. Goodbye.